Welcome to the blending drill module. The third and final drill that you will see on your lesson plan template is the blending drill. The purpose of this drill is for students to recognize that words are comprised of the individual sounds you are teaching and practice synthesizing these individual sounds into words. The skills learned and practiced during this drill will be used to decode unknown words while reading. Before you begin your first lesson, be sure to have each of the cards in your deck marked on the back to identify the phonograms that are beginning sounds, middle sounds, and ending sounds. There are also phonograms that can be used in both the beginning and ending positions. It is best to color code the back of each card so that when you're preparing your piles for the blending drill, you can easily reference the placement for each card. In this module, you will find a download of the beginning deck that you can use as a guide when marking your existing deck. Be sure to use a green marker to place a dot on the back of the cards that are beginning sounds. Use a yellow marker to place a dot on the back of the cards that are middle sounds. And use a red marker to mark those cards that are ending sounds. Those cards that can be used as both beginning and ending sounds should have both a green dot and a red dot. You can refer to the Stop and Go card marking sheet for marking instructions. This is a sample of what a card in your deck should look like once you have labeled the back with your markers. Notice the B is both fair as a beginning or ending sound. Therefore, when making your piles for the blending drill, you can choose to place this card in either position. When you are ready to deliver the blending drill, it will be helpful to have your deck prepared in advance with just the cards you will be using. Use the markings on the back of the phonogram cards to arrange your piles. Only include phonograms that have been taught, and always ensure that all combinations follow the rules that you have previously introduced. For example, if you have taught a short vowel signal, such as the soldier rule, then you will want to ensure that only short vowels come before those ending cards. If you have created floss rule cards to place in the ending pile, then only a short vowel can come before those ending cards as well. If you have taught the IGH, EIGH, OUGH, or AUGH, then you will want to ensure that you have the T readily available to place in the ending pile, as these cards will either come at the end of the word, or they will only be followed by a T. If you come to an ending sound that belongs in the middle pile, such as AY, OW, EW, OY, and so on, then you will want to cover or remove the ending pile while the student is blending those combinations. The blending drill steps are as follows. Divide the deck into 3 piles according to auditory position, beginning, middle, and ending sounds. Position the cards into 3 piles in front of the student. Have the student point to each card from left to right while saying the sounds aloud. The student should then slide his or her finger under the cards while blending the sounds together to form a word. Most of these words are nonsense words. The teacher then turns over 1 or more cards to form a new blend combination. Again, be sure to avoid combinations that have not been taught. Both the visual drill and blending drill are visual tasks, so you will follow the same steps if a student blocks. If the student has difficulty with a given blend, use only as many of the steps as are needed to elicit a correct recall. Have the student trace the letter with the fingertip on a carpet sample or tabletop. Ask the student to name the letter or letters on the card. Ask if the student remembers the keyword. Write the keyword for the student to see, do not say it. You can isolate the sound within the word. If the student still cannot recall the sound, you will say the sound aloud, and the student should then repeat the sound and trace the letter or letters 3 times while saying the sound aloud. Leave the card displayed for more practice. Once you have worked through a majority of the lessons, you may want to select a few words for your student to read. It is important to carefully select words that you put on a worksheet for the student to blend. Again, do not include words that contain sounds or patterns that you have not taught. The list need not be long, maybe 5 to 10 words, but they must contain elements that you have been working on from previous lessons. These are words for blending, not spelling, and they may be a combination of real and nonsense words. This concludes the blending drill presentation.